Hey guys, so welcome once again to my video blog of my Dingle Peninsula tour. This is the third day of my tour, and today I'm coming to you from the Old Anchor Guest House on the main street of Anniskull in County Kerry. I really do like it out here in Anniskull. It's I'm getting a very middle of nowhere vibe from it. It's centered right in the middle of the mountains, and there's really nothing else around. I had to walk a little ways from the coast to get here, but I really like it. It's a very charming place, and I can't wait to get something to eat a little later on. I'm sure there's probably some really good food around here. Today's walk was a little bit easier than yesterday's walk, mostly flat paths, although they were uphill in a lot of places, but still a lot less big stones and loose rocks to climb over. Most of it was pretty level ground, even though it was going uphill a good portion of the way. So if you're still with me, I'll take you on a little tour back through what my day was like. So this is the view that I got up to this morning, which is fantastic, by the way. I'm leaving camp right now, heading up to Anniskull, according to my host and the directions that I have from Hill Walk Tours. It's about the same distance as yesterday's hike, but over much easier terrain, so hopefully that'll give me some good luck and allow me to make a little time on this trip. See you up the trail. So I'm headed out of camp now, going down the road that heads back to the Dingle trail. But just an interesting note. No, I don't know if you can tell through the camera, but these roads are barely even big enough for two cars to pass by side, let alone try to squeeze around me. I had to almost jump into the bushes in order for the last two cars to pass me, one going one way, one going the other. So it's actually a lot cooler than it was yesterday. Sun's not out, which honestly I don't think it's gonna rain, but it's just one of those days where it's cloudy enough that it gives you some relief. And I thought I was gonna need long pants, but that didn't last very long. So hopefully it'll continue to be a relatively nice day for hiking like this. I mean, look at this. This is absolutely beautiful. And see that house way off in the distance there? You can barely see it with this zoom, but what I wouldn't give to live somewhere like that. I mean, that would be just awesome. So right now, I'm actually today heading mostly inland. Up until now, I've been hiking mostly along is it the northern coast or the southern coast? The northern coast, pardon me. The northern coast of the Dingle Peninsula. And now I'm heading inland. I'm actually going right through the mountains across the actual peninsula itself to Anniskull, which is on the southern coast. So now I'm officially back on the Dingle Way again, and guess what? I'm going uphill. Shocking, I know. Well, I think this may be my last view of the Dingle Bay for a little while. I've been going uphill pretty steadily for the past half an hour, and I think this road goes on for about 2 kilometers, and I gotta be at least halfway there. And once I get on the other side, it'll basically be, well, I mean, still the Atlantic Ocean, but won't be seeing the Dingle Bay again for a little while. So, see you later, I guess. So I'm at the top of the hill now. Gonna start walking down, as you can see. And this is what the mountains of Dingle look like. So, and you can't really see it, but all the way out there, like right about there, it's a little patch of blue. That's the other side, the ocean on the other side. That's where I'm headed. Okay, so here's something that I've been thinking about for quite a long time, and it's really been bothering me. I mean, it started ever since I first came to Ireland, but remember how I said that when you look from the plane, and even like looking at the scenery right now, it's like a patchwork of green, meaning that there's, you know, walls and walls of stone, walls of shrubbery, picket fences dividing up like pretty much the entire landscape. Who built those? Like, seriously, I mean, I want to know who stretched these fences for miles and miles and miles. I mean, it seems like some of them go like pretty much almost across the entire country. Just like one continuous fence. I really don't get it. So yeah, remember what I said about sheep and their droppings? Well, pretty much walking through a sheep pasture right now, and they're just all over the place. So it's not so much a question of trying to find a way around them, it's just how to step in the least number of them. Yeah, gross. So as you can see, I'm about to head into a little forest now. Don't really need the shade though. It's actually quite a bit cooler today than it was yesterday, and with the clouds makes it even cooler still, and it's pretty breezy as well. I'd say it's about, I don't know, 60 degrees, somewhere around there probably. Not colder than 60 degrees, but probably not a lot higher either. I have to say though, today's hike is like, I like it even more than yesterday, because while the coast was awesome and was beautiful and the paths were really pretty cool, it's these little paths through the mountains, little secluded things in the middle of all these mountains like you can see around me. That's what I really came here for. So been going at it about an hour and a half now, give or take. I'm really enjoying this. Well, as you can see, I'm off the forest path now, and I'm back on a road, an actual road, so it's a sign of more civilization coming up perhaps. It's getting on about 2 hours now in this hike, and I'm starting to think about grabbing some lunch, getting a little hungry here. Let's wait till this car passes by here. I'm kind of in a little neighborhood of sorts. But yeah, like I said, starting to get a little bit hungry. There wasn't really anything in camp to speak of where I could have grabbed something for the trail, but fortunately, the way I understand it, there's a place about a little more than halfway through this hike called the Inch Strand, where there's a nice cafe where people often stop for lunch. So kind of hoping that's coming up soon. My best guess is it'll probably be at least another half hour, so probably an hour, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, I got pretty wild there for a while. I couldn't even see the path, honestly. It was so overgrown. There were still markers though, so I knew I was going the right way, but still, that was pretty crazy. Just glad I'm through it now. I'm back on a somewhat cleared path. I am pretty close to the beach. Oh, zoom the other way. I am pretty close to the beach, so I'm hoping that that down there, somewhere up a little bit further, is the cafe where I'm gonna eat my lunch. The Inch Strand is a beach, I know that. It's about 3 kilometers long, according to my directions. That looks about good, probably about that right length. Why do they call it the Inch if it's 3 kilometers long? I don't know. Good question. Well, here it is. This is the Inch Strand. Took a little bit of a walk off the trail to get down here, but it was worth it. It's really beautiful, and you got some nice shots of the coast of Ireland right up there. A little cafe where I'm going to be eating my lunch is just down there around the corner of the road. And yeah, I mean, it seems like there's a fair bit of people on the beach too, although I have no idea why you would want to go in the water right now, especially given how cold it must be. Well, after about 45-minute detour for lunch, I'm back up on the Dingle Way right now. The lunch was delicious, by the way. It was a little seaside cafe. I got some seafood chowder, all fresh fish, shellfish, lobster, you name it. It was really good. On the bad news front though, any hiker, and I mean, even if you're not a hiker, you can probably figure this out, that your feet are your biggest ally when you're taking a trip like this. And right now, I mean, mine aren't doing so well. I've got blisters on both of my heels now, which is wonderful. They were giving me trouble all the way here, and I bandaged them up nice and tight with some self-sticking bandage that I brought with me in my first aid kit. Very glad I brought that now, by the way. But I don't know if it's going to help or not. I mean, in theory, if you wrap them up tight and there's more insulating them from the inside of the shoe, then they won't rub as much because they won't move. I mean, that's the theory anyway. But yeah, they still hurt, but actually they might not hurt as much as before, so maybe this will help. But as anyone who walks a lot will tell you, walking without using your heels is pretty difficult. So hopefully things improve. So about almost 4.5 hours into the hike, ended up on another nice little village road here. Hopefully this means getting close to Anna's Skull, and I've been running into a lot of other hikers, including these gentlemen from Colorado right here.
Hello.
But hopefully this little village up in the distance, maybe it's Anna's Skull, maybe it's not. Either way, I think I'm probably getting pretty close. So today's hike honestly hasn't been too bad. It was long, but fortunately a lot cooler than yesterday, and a lot more easy paths as well, not nearly as rocky and rugged. Also, medical update, the bandages seem to have helped my feet somewhat, so we'll see how that goes. They're still not perfect, and every time I take a wrong step they remind me that they're still there, the blisters that is, but feeling a little bit better, so helps a little bit. Hopefully won't get too bad. Rest up. Tomorrow will be a better walking day. So this is Anna's Skull. Cute little town, actually. Really like it here. I had turned away from the coast for a little while. Went pretty far inland, a couple kilometers at least. I was expecting this to be a shore town, but I guess not. The interesting thing is right down that way, right down there, is the South Pole Inn, which was apparently the home and pub established by Tom Crean, who was a local explorer. Is from this town. He accompanied several big expeditions, including Ernest Shackleton's expedition to the Antarctic. So pretty cool, honestly. He came back here, made that pub, South Pole Inn. You get the gist of that name. And yeah, lived happily ever after, I guess. So apparently my bed and breakfast is right up that away. So I'll see you there. And I guess I'd better rest up tonight, because tomorrow's leg of the trip is longer than either of the ones that I've been on so far. Both yesterday's walk and today's walk were about 18 kilometers, give or take, which is about 13 or 14 miles. Tomorrow's hike is going to be 22 kilometers, so that's a bit longer. It took me about only like 4.5 hours to do the one today, so that shows that it was a little easier. Hopefully it'll be easier on my feet too, because I could really use that right now. Those blisters are not looking good. But, you know, it happens. That's part of the trip. Unexpected things happen, and you just kind of have to deal with them. So join me tomorrow when I report to you from Dingletown. Yep, Dingletown, the capital of the peninsula, kind of named after it. So yeah, I'll be there for 2 days, one of which is no hiking at all. That'll give me a nice, relaxing time, I suppose. But yeah, I'll see you later on down the trail. Thanks for sticking with me.